So kind of moving on in that time frame as well, obviously living in the Lake District, you know, you've kind of bounced around the fells a lot, and you've done a summer BG as well as a winter BG.
Yes.
So what was your kind of your summer BG? Were you going for like you know, were you going for a particular time? Did you hit your time?
My summer BG was my first big ultra challenge that I did. It was in the spring of 2009 or May 2009.
Yeah.
So it was after about 18 months of training back in the Lake District, and the reason I was going to do it is because my father, who passed away a few years earlier, had done the Bob Graham round with a group of friends. So they travelled up from training, all set off, and finished it in sort of just under the 24 hours.
Yeah.
So I always wanted to emulate and do that as you would.
Yeah.
So I trained hard, and I set off with, I was going to do the best I could on that day.
Yeah.
And I think I did 19 hours 21 minutes, and it was a horrible day as well.
Yeah.
You know, apart from the first and last leg, it was sort of rain and hail and all sorts of. But I was going for it.
Yeah.
And it was really probably one of those early feelings of success.
Yeah.
That you get to at that finish line of, yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
Can I have more of this?
Yeah. So do you think that was the thing that kind of made you want to do more longer?
Yeah, I think so.
Kind
it
of
was.
Events. Yeah.
It's that sense of, you know, when you really had to dig the depths of your endurance.
Yeah.
And
is that physically and mentally?
Physically, mentally. Then you add the elements of performance in there as well.
Yeah.
And competition.
Yeah.
And it just fires that feeling of pride at the end of things.
Yeah. So
there's also that element of journey that I really enjoy, travelling through nature and being in the mountains, in the wilderness.
Yeah.
And
everything, the elements,
elements and
the unknown elements.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're training then though, because you were still, well, it was your first big endurance type event.
Yeah. How
different was your training then to say it is now?
I guess then the training was largely a lot of volume based,
right?
And a bike and run and paddle, so it was quite a broad spectrum of cross training.
Right. Okay.
Which I think gave me quite a good elements of strength.
Yeah.
From the variety of sports.
Yeah.
But I always found that I could train long and train tired and keep going.
Yeah.
So that was, and I developed that mindset that I could do that and handle that and keep training.
Yeah.
I guess I learned about heart rate training fairly early, so I used a heart rate monitor and tried to set zones and train to specific heart rates. So I think I developed that aerobic capacity, or started developing that capacity early.
Yeah.
Which then, as over the years, you build what you can do.
Yeah.
Efficiently.
Yeah.
Now I'm add much more structure to my training. I went specifically just for running, so I think that's just my primary joy. Now I get most fun from.
But do you think those early years of, like you said, almost like kind of cross training, that kind of building your inner core strength from your paddling, from your biking, those things have actually, if you hadn't done those, would you be as strong now on the longer stuff?
No, I don't think I probably wouldn't. I think it all added to me being able to create this huge amount of training stress.
Yeah.
and keep strong and active and not injured.
Yeah.
And I think it was removing the biking and the adventure racing that led to me getting injured, because
Right.
all of a sudden I don't think my glutes and hamstrings were as strong.
Right. Oh yeah.
And I was still trying to run this massive volume,
Yeah.
and eventually the body started to break down
Yeah.
and couldn't handle that anymore.
Yeah. So actually I have skipped a bit, haven't I? Because you did the adventure racing. Did you do that with people like Jim? Who were you doing the adventure racing with?
No, so that was initially with Antemis, Alex Pilkington and Sally Azan,
Right.
in a team with Mountain Hardware.
Right.
And then it followed on to being with Adidas team with Nick Gracie
Yeah.
and Warren Bates, and on the team that did years before won the Adventure Race World Champs in,
Yeah. So I've kind
Super.
of said that your Bob Graham was your first big endurance.
which
But
it
there-
was, but then the adventure racing came
Was it?
afterwards
Ah, right, got you. Yeah. All right, okay.
as
As a
okay, that's where
what I
my
enjoy
passion
doing.
developed into,
Yeah.
and you had that massive navigation element, and
Yeah.
you know, you were in
Yeah.
these fantastic
Because
countries.
like the adventure racing, it's pretty hardcore, isn't it? You are covering
massive
vast
distances
different
over rough terrain, high terrain,
whitewater rafting,
whitewater rafting,
Yeah.
abseiling, going through jungles if it's in a hot country. It is just, and then you're not sleeping,
Yeah.
so you're dealing with that sleep
Yeah.
deprivation and sleep
So you could be mountain biking down some technical steep terrain,
yes,
half awake,
half awake and falling asleep, and,
Yeah.
and yeah, all sorts of things you see popping out of
yeah,
the palm trees that
Yeah.
you know aren't there, but you still see them. Yeah.
but you've got less injured then than you do necessarily now then,
Yes,
right?
or just following.
Yeah,
I would say now, in the last year and a half, I haven't been injured.
yeah, yeah. Because it's like that's I suppose one of the issues, isn't it? When you are used to going so long from competing at a certain level, and you start getting those niggly injuries that then kind of grow into bigger injuries.
And then you fix yourself, and then you hit the same sort of volumes and training levels that you know you can do.
Yeah.
And then it's a vicious cycle.
Yeah. Yeah. So what does that mean then? Does that mean though that you've had to adapt your training since then? Like, what have you done now then that's different, that's enabled you to be kind of 18 months injury free?
I guess I went through a period of trying to get treated, working out what the problem was. Was it my back? Was it my hamstring? Was it, you know, what was the actual cause?
Yeah.
And then there was, I guess, a light bulb moment where Keris, my chiropractor physio, well, I think it maybe is your glutes aren't firing properly.
Right.
And then okay, I need to do something about this.
Yeah.
And then actually strength training came in as this is what actually I need to do now.
Right.
If I'm not biking, I'm not.
Yeah.
I need to make myself strong again.
Yeah.
And resilient,
Yeah.
so that I can handle the amount of running that I enjoy running.
Yeah. So have you got a kind of routine that you now do that involves kind of glute, core and...
Yeah, I kind of went down the line of actually lifting weights,
Right.
and actually developing myself as a stronger, balanced athlete.
Right.
So I found that to
We'll head down. In fact, I'll keep you on this way. Might avoid the wind.
So yeah, I decided I needed to make myself stronger, and the way to do that is actually lift weights, because I'm already strong and endurance wise with the muscles.
Yeah.
So doing high repetition wouldn't necessarily get me any stronger than I already was.
Yeah.
But so to improve the weaknesses, I decided actually I needed to learn how to lift weights properly, and it's worked. You know.
Yeah. So do you go to a gym to do that, or do you just get some weights to do that?
No, I specifically go to a gym.
Yeah.
I don't have the room.
And did you actually get somebody to show you how to do it properly?
Yeah, I think it's really important to learn how to do it properly with good technique, to protect your back.
Yeah. And as you work the muscles, you're
trying to work.
Yeah.
Because if you're handling a weight load, that's a lot of force.
Yeah.
So things can go seriously wrong if you get it wrong.
Yeah.
So it's important to get some coaching or a PT to show you or demonstrate how to do it and watch you.
Yeah.
And then once you know, you can sort of use it as guided.
Yeah.
I guess the key for me is thinking that it's not strength for strength's sake, but strong for running.
So it's a function. You're
It's a
looking for functional
strength.
So it's not coming out ripped. It's coming out functionally strong to do what you want to do. Kind of thing.
Generally I'm doing one session a week in the gym to sort of maintain that sort of strength now.
Yeah.
And I know when I get back in the gym and I've done a session, you think you're all right there. Oh, this is not too bad. The next 2 days, you've got the DOMs in the glutes and the hamstrings. You think, okay, that's where I want it to be.
Yeah.
That's working the muscles that have got weaker.
Yeah.
Because of running all down the hills, you become quite quad dominant.
Yeah.
So it's just trying to balance those big muscle groups up.
Yeah. And you use the coach for your kind of strength and conditioning. You work the outward bound. You are now a coach yourself and a guide.
Yeah.
So you those experiences and what you've learned from that, is that kind of things that, depending on the style of client that you have, you kind of get them working different types of activity for what their goals are.
So you're definitely trying to look for what is their goal. Where are they currently at? Because we're all at different levels of fitness and time availability as well. In terms of what time have I got available to hit that goal, and for some, getting in the gym once a week it's not going to happen. They're just not motivated enough and don't want to be there to do it. But so it's trying to find
what they can do,
and what will fit and still keep them strong. And enjoying the sport.
So what do you suggest for people, for example, who are from areas where there are no hills, but love to come to the hills? They love to come to the Lake District. They have ambitions to do a Bob Graham. How do people like that train for the hills?
So I guess was the classic, if you're getting on a treadmill and putting the incline on, at least and then you're trying to get some adaptation to being able to go up hills, which is okay for the climbing element.
But it's that descent, isn't it?
It's that descending. Then some of the best way is actually, maybe you do need to go into a gym and get some strong muscles, so that you can handle. So you're building up that muscular endurance, so that helps protect you from the fatigue. You can then add in the plyometric sort of training, the jumps, and that side, so you can start that process of that's going to fatigue your muscles, and build a session that you end up tired, that sort of can then cross over to the downhill running.
Because would you say that it's probably more so the descending on a Bob Graham that takes it out of you than the climbing?
I mean, by the end of a Bob Graham, if your legs have fatigued so much and stiffened up, you can't run down the hills anymore. And if you can't run down the hill, you're going to lose lots of time. Because you can get yourself aerobically fit to climb the hills. And if you're aerobically fit, you can keep powering up. Once your muscles in fatigued to a certain rate, but then after that point, you just keep going.
Yeah.
And as long as you're fueling,
Yeah.
you can keep climbing those hills.
Yeah.
But if you haven't got anything left to descend with, that can be the real challenge.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I guess it's also the technicality of Bob Graham, the running on rough terrain, over the boulders, over the rocks. It's that skill element that you often miss.
Yeah.
And people that can run very quick marathons suddenly come onto the top of Scarfell and they just can't handle that
technicality
and be able to move efficiently through that terrain.
I suppose it's moving, it's having that confidence and moving in a relaxed state creates less muscle stress, doesn't it? So you can be the fittest person in the world, but if you are feeling tense and nervous, or possibly just a bit defensive about the terrain you're on or the descent, you are naturally stressing your muscles more,
and tensing and the tightening.
So really, I suppose you've got to do some real hills. You've got to come up to the lakes, I suppose. Can you train? Could you train, for example, in other parts of the country on different styles of hills, and then come and do a Bob Graham? Or do you think you kind of need to?
I think you can find bits of woodland, you can find bits of beach, you can find bits of things where you can practice the boulder hopping, you can practice going through rooted areas, just to practice that quick step movement of efficient movement through rough terrain. You probably start with a flat surface and practice quick feet. You can even limit that to a ladder drill and to start off with, to practice moving through and changing steps. So I think you can do that. I think it takes deliberate practice to learn the skill. So where you're going over and over the skill, consciously thinking, how can I improve this? Can I do it quicker? Can I challenge myself? What have I got to do to build up that confidence? So it's that fine balance of where is my stretch zone, and not going into that panic zone to improve your speed. So there's no point in going down a steep descent really fast if you're not ready to run down a shallow hill fast. So it's that balance and building that. And I think you can do that wherever you are. You just make the intervals short. And do them lots.
And then, so when you're comparing your summer bob to the winter bob, obviously the terrain is slightly different because it's either going to be frosty or icy, or it could be boggier. What were the kind of main differences between the two?
I guess the main difference was the amount of darkness, in a sense that on the winter round I started at 5 past midnight, and it didn't get light till almost 8 o'clock. And I'm on Bowfell when the sunshine's coming up, and that's a long way into the Bob Graham round, and you've got to handle. So you've got to be comfortable.
Whereas in the summer one, halfway through kind of leg 2 possibly, and the sun could be coming up.
So you might just get that one leg in the dark in a summer round, midsummer, leg 2, because you might have done leg 1 in the daylight, and gone through leg 2 in the dark, and suddenly not much darkness at all. And if you're on a quick round, you wouldn't be dark at all. Killian didn't have a single amount of darkness, or any of a 16-hour round would be a light round. So, and just being able to see what's in front of you can help with navigation and running down a slope. Whereas at night you're stuck to your beam.
You're in a very concentrated. So do you think it's also more mentally fatiguing than a winter round?
It's mentally fatiguing. Because you've got to be more zoned into what you're doing. What else? Then you've got the element of cold,
Yeah.
So that takes more energy to keep yourself
Keep
warm.
Yeah.
And so you're obviously burning that fuel source
Yeah.
to keep you. It's not necessarily going into your running.
Yeah.
So that has an impact.
Yeah.
I think on my round, this last one gone, I was extremely lucky with the forecast that came along. It was
Yeah.
really cold, but no wind, and it was that beautiful starry night. So you had good viz.
Yeah.
And the sun came up.
How long before did you decide to do it? Like, you must have had an idea, I'm going to do one this winter. So how was it? Literally days before you made the calls to the lads and said, right, are we all up for it this weekend? Or had you kind of chosen that weekend and you were just going to see what the weather was going to be like? How did it kind of pan out?
I guess I've been thinking about it since the last winter one I did in 2017.
Yeah.
Okay, this is achievable, this record for me if I get it right.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about it the following year, but then decided actually the weather's not right this year.
Yeah.
And I'm going to run the Montane goat.
Yeah.
And so I was in pretty good shape at that point.
Yeah.
But so I decided I was going to do it this year.
Yeah.
And specifically I targeted the 1st of December because it was a Sunday.
Yeah.
First opportunity I could do it, and a better chance of decent weather.
Yeah.
So once I knew I was in good shape, I specifically targeted the 1st of December, targeted my training, targeted the taper, so that I would be in a fresh place, fit, ready to go,
Uninjured.
And psychologically ready for it.
Yeah.
And then you start weather looking, and then about a week out it's looking, okay, this is really good.
Yeah.
It's on.
Yeah.
We're going.
Yeah.
And you try and scramble the best
Everybody together.
everyone together that you can.
Because you've kind of got, I suppose you've got a fantastic set of fellow guides based around here who kind of were, a number of them were helping you on each leg, weren't they?
Yeah.
So you've kind of,
I've tapped into their help and their knowledge and their
yeah. And how important is that for even someone just going for a 24 to make sure you've actually got somebody who is actually good at nav, who maybe is your bag carrier but actually understands what that role means, so they are actually making sure they're feeding you, drinking you, making sure you're drinking enough, rather than possibly getting caught up in the round and chatting away, and you know what I mean, kind of, because it's a serious thing, isn't it? You are there to help somebody get round, isn't it?
Yeah. For me, I think it's also your having someone that's experienced, that's done it before, and been there, that knows the route, that's has experienced it themselves, because they know what you need, because they've been there and can offer that, and it's good to get a different variety of support.
Yeah.
But I also like to think of it as the responsibility element as well, to have people that you can trust, that when you're pushing yourself and challenging yourself, that they can make sensible decisions around safety, that they can own those decisions and go, actually, you're not looking good today, or this weather is absolutely awful. I think we should can it.
It's time to stop.
It's time. Or for my case, in the winter, I wanted people that can look after themselves.
Yes.
That can then, okay, this is not happening for them today. They can get themselves off the mountain.
Yeah, because you've got to keep going.
And I can keep going.
Yeah.
If I'm within my ability to do that.
Yeah.
So it's having that as confidence in the people that you choose in that sense, especially at winter.
Yeah, where conditions can change very quickly.
And if things go wrong, they happen a lot quicker.
Yeah, definitely. So, as part of that, I've kind of noticed you're wearing the VJ shoes down there.
Yes.
What footwear did you actually wear for that particular round?
Because I knew it was going to be really hard underfoot and it could potentially icy ground.
Yeah.
I bought a pair of VJ IROX,
Right.
but with the metal dobs, so I think they're called integrators.
Right.
So yeah, little orienteering shoes basically.
Yeah.
Which just bit into the turf,
Yeah.
into the ice, and just gave you that confidence to be able to run freely and not worry about the slipping everywhere.
Yeah.
So you haven't got those extra movements.
Yeah. And do you prefer that than having to say put on like spikes?
Yeah. Well, because there was no real snow.
Yeah. It was kind of you wouldn't need.
That would have been too much, and actually you would feel those in shoe on your foot when there's not. I mean, they're brilliant when it is snowy conditions like we've got onto tops today and it's gone hard.
Yeah.
Then I would put on micro spikes, and on my first winter round I wore them for 90% of the day, which explains the
difference in the time.
Because what was the rounds.
Yeah. So what was your time on your first winter round? What time did you do in 2017?
2030 something.
2030
and 2040. It's around that.
Yeah. And then this one was 1547.
47.
Yeah. And then the record before that was 1818. And how different were the conditions again for that record?
It was a no snow round.
Right.
It wasn't as cold, so I think it was like a 2-3 degree type day.
Yeah.
And typical winter day.
Yeah.
There might have been more cloud around at that point because of that sort of forecast.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a bad day.
Yeah.
It was a good day to do a winter round.
Yeah.
Just not as perfect as my day, I don't think.
So now you've kind of done a winter round in a top 10 BG round summer winter,
Yes.
Are you tempted to kind of do another summer round?
No, I don't think so. I think me going fast on the Bob Brown round, I think that's done. 15:47 is fast round.
It's bloody fast.
And so I'm not at Killian's level to get anywhere close to that. So I'm just satisfying. Can I move up the list?
Yeah.
And that doesn't quite appeal to me.
Yeah.
I know what I can do now and I've experienced it, so I think it's time to move on.
Yeah.
There are other challenges and records and rounds to do, so I think they have more appeal.
Yeah. So what do you think they might be? What kind of things have you got your kind of eye on?
Not sure yet. There's a few things that would be appropriate challenges for me.
Yeah.
Nowhere near ready to think about Paul's Wainwright's record yet.
But do you think in the future that might be something you'd enjoy having a crack at?
You never say never.
No. And what about the how many summits you can do in 24 hours kind of?
Yeah, that is a consideration with a 16-hour round. You just got to carry that sort of effort level on for 24.
Yeah.
And you're in the right ballpark for that record.
Yeah. Because does it stand at 72 at the moment?
No, it's 77.
77.
Yeah, Mark Hartel record.
And Adam Perry's got so close, hasn't he?
Really close on a couple of occasions.
Yeah.
But I guess it's trying to decide. You don't want to, if he's going to go again, it's a challenge you don't want to step on other people's feet. Yeah,
because it's definitely a person. It's something he's had a big focus on, isn't it?
And a big goal and drive for.
Yeah.
So it's one to consider.
Yeah.
And one I have thought about.
Yeah.
But yeah, still undecided.
Yeah.
but I haven't been and done a Ramsey or a Paddy Buckley, so
Right.
they're also
Yeah.
could be a fun
Yeah.
big day out to do.
And as summer rounds before you do the winter round versions, or would you enjoy doing the winter versions over the summer versions?
No, I quite like the warmth, to be honest. But I do tend to do quite well in December and winter. So I think I'm just able to cope with conditions in darkness, and through years of experiential learning,
Yeah.
I can handle those challenges.
Yeah. Yeah. So just going kind of back to the kind of Bob Graham, so a bit of a Bob Graham theme. So people who want to kind of explore the idea of doing a bob, you know, what would you say the best way is of people kind of taking that dream on?
Well, I guess the best way is actually to come up and get on the lakes, in the lakes,
Yeah.
experience it, you know, get on the central fells,
Yeah.
you know, like leg 3, leg 4, and what it's like to traverse Scarfell Plateau and
Yeah. So
to
it's-
go over Great Gable and
Yeah.
to go, okay, this is the challenge. This is what I've got
Yeah.
to.
So because they're the most technical, you think they're the
They're the-
ones to,
Yeah, because
are they pretty much the make it and break it legs?
yeah.
Yeah.
Just because of the nature of the terrain,
Yeah.
and you've got to be, and you've been going for quite a while at that stage. You've got to be able to move through those efficiently. I mean, you have got time to do it,
Yeah.
but you can't waste time. So
Yeah.
I think you've got to know whether that's within your remit or what you've got to do to bridge the gap.
Yeah.
And how your current ability relates to a, say, standard 24-hour time
Yeah.
for doing that.
Yeah.
And then you start to get that idea, okay, that's where I am fitness-wise, that's where I am technicality-wise.
Yeah.
I'm good at downhill,
Yeah.
or not so good at downhill. You know, you start to get a picture of how to work on certain weaknesses, or
Yeah.
really work on your strengths so they negate the weaknesses.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you can join in the spirit of the club and actually try and support on other people's Bob Grahams
Yeah.
and do it the traditional the way that the club's grown. The ethos of it is to try and help others.
Yeah.
And you can do that. You can look on the forums.
And there's a Facebook group, isn't there?
Yeah, there is a Facebook
the Bob
group.
Graham group.
So,
Yeah.
you know, if you've got the time and you can get up here and that passion to help on others, you know, because then the idea is it comes back when you need it for your round,
Yeah.
and you start to develop an understanding of what it takes, what someone might be, what people be going through on leg 3 and leg 4,
Yeah.
and to make it happen.
Yeah.
And you start to realise what an undertaking it is.
Yeah. So you can actually, you can, within those groups, you can kind of meet other people who are doing recce's,
Yeah.
and I suppose once you know you can cover a certain leg within a 24-hour time, for example, or a 22-hour time, you should have the confidence to be able to offer help. You might not necessarily want to offer help as the nav person,
No.
or be the sole person carrying somebody's, you know, food nutrition, but you can be one of those helpers who's there to also help
Yes.
with the food nutrition and just get that, because it is a very unique thing, isn't it? It's a very unique feeling being part of somebody's round, isn't it? Sorry, we're just walking up Cat Gill. We were going to walk straight up Waller before, but it's too windy, so we've ended up walking down to Big Wood. We're now going up Cat Gill, so I'm just giving Kim a bit of a workout.
So, I need it. The other thing to think about is actually not everyone is that open or social.
Yeah.
And doesn't like to go through chat groups and forums and Facebook groups to meet people and to do that.
Yeah.
And that to me is where people like Mountain Run and myself and the other guys that are out there guiding services in the Lake District, that they can come to people that have the experience, the knowledge, the qualifications, and take those responsibilities on to learn and develop their skills from people like us. And knowing that if you're booking through a company, you're booking those things, and it's sometimes easier to do that than trying to go through the unknown world.
So it's basically there's different options, isn't there?
There's different options,
and everybody's so different in their circumstances, in their personalities, that because ultimately you guys, you live in the Lake District. This is your, your business is this. All these, we can't actually see the felt, but this is your business, your economy. So it's I suppose it's that balance of the Bob Graham traditions along with the reality of helping people enjoy that Bob Graham experience.
And enjoying being in mountains, being in nature, pushing themselves out of their comfort zone, and being able to help people do that is a passion of mine. And always has been through working Outward Bound. So
that's it. We don't do this to make a fortune, do we?
No.
It's definitely a lifestyle.
It is
a lifestyle thing.
And you commit to doing that through the middle of the night. At all different times, and to share that experience. And that experience and knowledge has been built up over years. So it's me offering all that training and knowledge out as a service. I mean, guiding is not a new thing.
Well, did the original fell races, were they not guide? Like what like the original fell was kind of guide races, weren't they? So what was a guide race? Like who was it for? Was it like,
what was the original guide race? How do I find that? So I guess it was I remember the occasion, because a lot of shows would have had people that were there to bet.
Right, okay.
And it was all part of...
So these like the local Cumbrian village shows.
Village shows, the county shows. So there became an element of prize money about it. And so people would train up and go to the shows and compete for prizes. But then you had that whole balance between the amateur versus professional in the Billy Bland's era. Which ended up then being disqualified or banned. And
right. So so they had those issues.
So they had those issues back then.
Right.
I guess now the club's grown up with a different ethos from that. And they've made that ruling that guide rounds can't be counted as join the Bob Graham club.
Right.
And you're okay. that's the club's decision, and you respect that as to join the club. You need to follow the rules and those traditions.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to agree with their decisions.
Yeah.
But for some people, actually joining the club is not everything.
No, it's doing the round.
A lot of people, it's doing the round, doing the experience, pushing themselves and achieving success.
Yeah.
So
there's space for there's space for everything, isn't there?
Yeah.
Everybody should have the option. I think we look at this, bloody hell. Right,
It's amazing.
we're lucky. I think when we live in the Lake District, when we're part of these fells, it's very easy for us to kind of say, oh, the tourists do this, races do that, the environmental impact, all those things. But the reality is, this is a playground that everybody should be able to enjoy. However they choose to enjoy it, as long as they're not deliberately going out to harm where they're having their adventure, and as long as they try to minimise their impact and take rubbish with them and all that kind of stuff, why can't we all just accept that we're all a little bit different and we all have different approaches?
Yes.
And you know, we should just all... Hiya. How you doing?
Not so bad, thanks.
Oh, it's a good day. Yeah, it's a good day.
Is it a bit windy up there? Very? Right, oh well. We might have to hide in this bit up here to finish off
Yes.
as we clamber up. So, but yeah, I didn't, and neither did you, I didn't kind of start talking about the Bob Graham stuff and kind of want any controversy over the decisions that are being made regarding, certificates and things like that. I just think that, as somebody with Mountain Fuel who I love the lakes. I love running. I love everything about it. And my passion, I just love seeing people and helping people enjoy their activities.
Yes, exactly.
Like same with you with guiding. Now, some people put that down as we're commercialising traditional sports and things like that. But the reality is, everything has a commercial element to it. We're not going out and kind of commercialising it. We're just supporting it. But we actually live and breathe the lakes. We live here. This is our livelihood, So
it's quite clear how much we enjoy where we are and what we do.
Yeah.
And supporting others to do it is a passion. And it's a way that I can keep living that passion.
Yeah.
And then sharing it with others.
Yeah.
Giving them the opportunity to experience the great outdoors in the Lake District.
Yeah.
They say it's everyone's national park to come and enjoy.
Yeah.
And relatively walking up and down the hills and mountains and running on them.
Right, sorry, the battery, in fact the SIM card was full. The battery's nearly dead. So I think really we've kind of touched on, and the wind's picking up, we've touched on all sorts of things, how to do a Bob Graham, how to train, the differences between your approaches to a Bob Graham, helping people in your preparation, possibly getting guide services to help you get started. You might then go and spot some rounds yourself. You just need that confidence boost to get you out there. But ultimately, look, these are amazing fells, amazing landscape we've been lucky enough to live in, and I don't know, we should all just come up, enjoy it, make the most of it, and whether that's walking, running or whatever. So it's probably a good time to say thank you very much, Kim.
Thank you.
It was good having a crack with you.
It's good to come out and have a walk and talk.
So next time we might have to do it running. I really wanted my hips around me too. So anyway, thank you very much. And I think I meant to say things like subscribe, like, share the video if you like it. Anyway, that's enough of that. Cheers. Bye bye.